Well, despite notching 4.5 sacks in this game versus the Buccaneers, Aidan Hutchinson was absolutely robbed, snubbed, scalded, whatever you want to call it. We thought this was in the bag, did we not? Defensive Player of the Week. I mean, can we go out on a limb here and say, best defensive performance of the season so far? I mean, a lot of us thought so. I can't believe that he was snubbed this bag. And not only that, but PFF also put him as a flex option in their, top performers of the week on offense and defense. A flex, not even an edge, a flex. Look, they gave this Defensive Player of the Week award to Atlanta Falcons safety Jesse Bates. Look, I mean, he had a good game. 12 tackles, 2 passes defended, a game-clinching interception. And this is a comeback victory over the Philadelphia Eagles. So it was a pretty incredible performance. Had the Lions won this game, would Hutch have won then? Would he have been selected at that point? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. But I'm going to go ahead and say yes. I think that Hutchinson would have been voted in that way. Here's another thing. Is it because he only went up against Justin Skule? I mean, roughly a third tier offensive lineman, that maybe they didn't give as much credit to Hutchinson? I don't know. I don't know how much weight you can put on that. NFL player's an NFL player. I mean, they've got to step up and do their job just like anybody else, right? But either way, I feel like this is a giant slap in the face to Aidan Hutchinson. I mean, he had an incredible performance. Outside of not winning the game, it was still an incredible performance. But since we're doing a video about, most sacks in a game, or, most sacks in a game for Hutchinson, or, players that have done it at a high level, I went back and looked since 1982. I don't know why that number, filtered, but it did. The most sacks in a game. Derek Thomas still holds the record with 7. In 1990, Kansas City Chiefs versus the Seattle Seahawks. And he was 33 years old and packed up 7 sacks in that game. Fred Dean in 1983 played for the San Francisco 49ers against the New Orleans Saints. 6 sacks. And he was tied for 6 with Derek Thomas again, who was still playing for the Kansas City Chiefs back in 1998 versus the Oakland Raiders. And O.C. Umenoria, the New York Giants in 2007, going up against the Philadelphia Eagles. And, of course, Adrian Claiborne playing for the Atlanta Falcons up against the old Cowboys. And then Khalil Mack. I'm surprised that name wasn't a little higher on the list, but 6 sacks in a game. And it's pretty incredible. That was just back in 2023, just last season. And then you've got William Gay, Detroit Lions. So another Detroit Lion, 5.5 sacks on the day versus the Tampa Bay Bucks, nonetheless. September 4, 1983. So that's where I wanted to stop. We have another Detroit Lion that is tied for 7th, which is really 3rd place. 3rd most sacks, 5.5. William Gay, Detroit Lions, September 4th against the Bucks. How odd is that? What an odd duck that is, right? But of course I didn't stop there. I didn't stop there. This was, clutch play after clutch play for Aidan, right? I mean, I guess I really don't care who he was going up against. Some of these plays, some of these sacks were happening at the right time. And it gave the Lions an opportunity, to put points on the board. It gave the offense an opportunity to do something, to resurrect this game. And it just didn't work out. But one of the first plays in the red zone of the opening drive of the game, with Mayfield and the Bucs facing a 3rd and goal, Hutchinson cut to the middle to get to the quarterback. Now, his hit forced the ball out of Mayfield's hands. However, Tampa did recover it. The loose ball, they did retain possession. But still, the sack forced the Bucs to settle for a field goal on that play. So Aidan kept 4 points off the board. I think that's pretty clutch. Let's take a look at the play. There we go. Off to the right of your screen there. Yeah, nice little stunt work there. Great play. Can't deny it. Great play. So the next play, another clutch play. On the very next Buccaneers drive, Aidan Hutchinson once again beat the offensive lineman, Justin Skule, to get his arms on Baker Mayfield on 2nd and 11. Hutchinson was beating Skule all day, but he got to Mayfield, forcing the Bucs back into their own territory. Let's take a look at this play. Let's see what this one looked like. Hutchinson's at the top of your screen there. I mean, he just flew off the edge. All right, just flew off the edge, beat Skule to the top side. And I believe it was, Onwuzurike that, probably could have been credited more with that sack. Onwuzurike had Mayfield dead to rights here. I mean, he blew right through that. Hutch just got there, maybe a quarter of a second faster. But again, another phenomenal play by both guys. And then the third sack. So Hutchinson came through again on a 3rd down during Tampa Bay's next possession. The Detroit Lions speed on the outside, Skule just could not handle it. And he took advantage of it. And this actually forced a punt for the Tampa Bay Bucs. So again, another clutch play. Flipping field. I talk about it all the time. Sacks don't mean crap unless you're flipping field. Getting a stop, getting a turnover. You're creating negative plays. And these were 3 negative plays that Aidan was part of. So again, man, he's working the top side of Skule and just beats him to the outside. Just straight speed. It's a great play. And the next one. So look, he has a hat trick at this point. He ain't done. And he knows he ain't done. Once again, he brought Mayfield down to the turf in the 3rd quarter. Once again on a 3rd down, forcing another punt. Even with Tampa Bay's running back Rachaad White giving Skule some help this time on a chip block on the right side of the line, it still wasn't enough to contain Aidan Hutchinson. I mean, he's fired up at this point. He's ready to rock and roll, and he's going to get to Mayfield now for the 4th time, or the third and a half sack on the day. Here we go. Let's look at that again. I mean, he's just splitting them, right? He's splitting pairs here. Does a little barrel weave, right? Out, in, or out, in, then out. Maybe I said that backwards. In, out, and in. There we go. And we see this, right? We see that work at the combine. At the combine, they have, the bag set up and you're doing the weave. I don't know what they call it. But that's obviously what this play was here for Aidan. He had clearly spent a lot of time practicing on the weave, we'll call it. He weaved his way to Mayfield. Hutchinson then made his entrance into the 4th quarter, and he went after Mayfield. When was this? 3rd and 7. Completely collapsed the pocket again, but this is DJ Reader helping, right? This DJ Reader really helping this defensive line do a lot in this game. I dare say that DJ stays healthy, man. Sky's the limit for not only Aidan, but Levi and everybody else along this defensive line. So Mayfield attempted to scramble after the pocket collapsed on 3rd and 7, but he was unable to get past the line of scrimmage before Aidan was able to grab him up by his ankles. Let's take a look at this play. Again, could have been a combo sack there again with Levi and Aidan. Levi kind of came over top. They were both working it. I don't know who got credited what on that play. But again, a dominant performance. And, I understand it's not 7 sacks. I get it. It's not Derek Thomas numbers. But it's not often that a defensive end, a pass rusher, an outside linebacker, whatever position, has 4.5 sacks in a game. And he probably could have had more. But man, he gets robbed here, guys. I firmly believe it. He gets robbed. even though I can be critical at times of certain players because I expect more from them, Aidan really surprised me on this day. Like he played an incredible game. And you know what? Little participation trophies be damned, Aidan. You don't need no stupid defensive player of the week. You know what you need? You need a Lombardi. So go get the damn thing and then come back and show everybody while their little defensive player of the year award is cute and all. But that Lombardi is what you want more. Go get it, man.